Hello and welcome. Today we will talk about the pay model. The pay model that we talk about actually can serve both as a framework for examining current pay systems, but also basically to guide you in terms of different chapters of the textbook. So the pay model is a very comprehensive visual for how the various chapters actually work in your textbook. So understand the pay model, and then as you read the chapters, hopefully they all make sense because of the different components of the pay model. So the pay model has three basic building blocks: the compensation objectives, number one; second, the policies that form the foundation of the compensation system; and third, the techniques that make up the compensation system. In terms of compensation objectives, keep in mind that pay systems are designed to achieve certain objectives like the basic pay objective. And the basic pay objective could include things like efficiency, fairness, ethics in compliance with the laws and regulations in any city, state, or federal environment in the US. When it comes to efficiency, it can be stated more specifically in terms of improving the performance, increasing quality, delighting customers and stockholders, and controlling labor costs. Compensation objectives, for example, at companies like Medtronic and Whole Foods can be contrasted with each other. In Medtronic, which is a pacemaker pioneer, they emphasize performance, business success, minimized fixed costs, in attracting and energizing the top talent, sort of like Microsoft has a similar strategy. Whole Foods' first compensation objective is committed to increasing shareholder value. Now, secondly, fairness, which is a fundamental objective of pay systems, it attempts to ensure fair treatment of all the employees by recognizing both employee contributions as well as their needs. Here we can reflect on what is known as procedural fairness, which refers to the process that is used to make pay decisions in order to be fair to both men and to women, to single people and to married people, to those who have been with the organization for many years and those who are fairly new. When it comes to compliance with laws and regulations, compliance as a pay objective simply means conforming to various federal and state compensation laws and regulations that you have to deal with as HR professionals or managers or owners of organizations. And ethics in this case means that organizations should care about how its results are achieved. For example, it is very important that you know the company's code of conduct. Because ethics is so important, it is inevitable that managing pay sometimes creates ethical dilemmas for managers. Some compensation professionals and consultants remain silent during ethical misconducts in outright malfeasance. Pay objectives guide the design of the pay system and serve as a standard for judging the success of the pay system. Therefore, policy choices. And every employer must address the policy decisions that are elements of the pay model. For example, 1, they should have internal alignment. 2, they should have external competitiveness. 3rd, they should care about the employee's contribution. And 4th, management of the pay system. So these 4 elements are the foundation on which pay systems are built, and they serve as guidelines for managing pay in ways that accomplish the system's overall objectives. Internal alignment refers to comparisons among jobs or skill levels inside a single organization. Jobs and people skills are compared in terms of their relative contributions to the organization's business objectives. Internal alignment pertains to the pay rates both for employees doing equal work and for those doing dissimilar work. For example, Whole Food tries to manage differences with a salary cap that limits the total cash compensation of any executive to about 19 times the average cash compensation of all full-time employees. However, it should be noted that the cap originally started at 8 times the average, and it does not include stock options. Pay relationships within the organization affect all compensation objectives. By motivating employees to choose increased training and greater responsibility in dealing with customers, internal pay relationships indirectly affect the capabilities of the workforce and the efficiency of the entire organization. Second, fairness is affected through employees' comparison of their pay to the pay of others in the organization. And third, compliance is affected by the basis used to make internal comparisons. External competitiveness refers to pay comparisons with competitors in the industry or in the market, in your city, in your state, or in the nation, and sometimes globally. Many organizations claim that their pay systems are market-driven, which basically means based on almost exclusively on what the competitors pay. So market-driven gets translated into practice perhaps in different ways. External competitiveness decisions, both how much, in what forms, have a twofold effect on objectives. First, to ensure that the pay is sufficient to attract and retain quality employees. If employees do not perceive their pay as competitive in comparison to what other organizations are offering for similar work, they may actually choose to leave the organization. Two, to control labor costs so that the organization's prices of products or services can remain competitive in today's global economy. With regards to employee contributions, here we reflect on how much emphasis should there be on paying for performance. Should one programmer be paid differently from another programmer who has better performance and even perhaps seniority? Or should there be a flat rate for programmers across the board? Should the company share any profits with employees? If they do share any of the profits, should they share only with full-time employees, or should they also share with part-time employees across the board? So emphasis should be placed on employee contributions. Emphasis should be placed on employee contributions or the nature of the pay mix, which is a key policy decision since it directly affects employees' attitude in their behaviors on a day-to-day basis. Performance-based pay affects fairness in that employees need to understand the basis for judging performance in order to believe that their pay is fair. Some companies combine base pay and team incentives to offer higher pay if team performance warrants it. The external competitiveness in employee contribution decisions should be made jointly together with the employees. Clearly, an above-market compensation level is most effective and perhaps sustainable when it exists together with above-market employee contributions to productivity, to quality, to service, and other important strategic objectives for your organization, for your department, or for your firm. Management, on the other hand, means that ensuring that the right people get the right pay for achieving the right objectives in the right way. In other words, in an ethical manner. The ground under compensation management has shifted. The traditional focus on how to administer various techniques is long gone. It's replaced by more strategic thinking. In other words, managing pay as part of the business. In terms of policies, you can see that the authors focus on alignment, competitiveness, contributions in management elements. And with regards to the techniques, you can see that all those policy elements here should be linked to the internal structure of the organization, to the pay structure, to the incentive programs offered, in how the evaluation model takes place with regards to the pay policies in the techniques that are being used. Ultimately, these policies and techniques should be aligned with the overall objectives of the pay model, focusing on efficiency, fairness, compliance, and ethics. So in summary, let us talk about maybe companies like Amazon and Walmart. What are they doing better than maybe other companies like Best Buy or even Circuit City? Do they have high pay in order to outperform their competition? Well, each of these companies like Walmart, Amazon, and Best Buy seems to have their own unique selling proposition or USP, which you've learned in your marketing classes a little bit. For example, Walmart is one of the well-renowned global retail giant brands around the globe. Walmart has a large customer base and the scale which gives them the ability to negotiate sharp prices from their vendors, which in return results in substantial savings for their customers, so they can sell products with small margins and still stay afloat and make a profit for the employees and stockholders. Amazon is a trusted brand providing online shopping experiences for their customers. Amazon obviously has positioned itself as a global online marketplace which facilitates shopping through a customized user shopping experience. And nowadays, during this COVID-19 coronavirus era, you see them obviously hiring hundreds and thousands of more people and helping people to deliver products into their doors. Best Buy has a customer-centric style. They target the young population and corporate-level individuals. Best Buy has a youthful and well-informed sales force, so they probably do a lot of training, and that well-informed sales force can actually help their customers make informed purchase decisions. The reason the other two are given stiff competition to Best Buy is because of their ability to offer low prices to customers. However, we see that Best Buy's unique selling proposition lies in its employees. If they start cutting costs and laying off their employees, it will take the edge off their business. Entry-level positions for Walmart tend to start around $9 for cashiers and sales associates. Amazon, on the other hand, pays about $13 for their cashiers and sales associates. However, Best Buy pays $10 for sales associates and around $11 for sales consultants. According to a pay scale survey comparison, the companies on the Fortune 500 list to see how median employees' tenure varies. Actually, Amazon is next to dead last in median tenure length with 1 year. Best Buy does a little bit better with median tenure length of 2.6 years. On the other hand, Walmart actually has the longest median employee tenure of about 3.3 years. So these companies have different strategies to not only recruit, but also to retain employees for a little bit longer than their competitors. And that longer retention of employees means they have to do less training. And the employees are more experienced, therefore they can take care of those customers a little bit faster. So that small edge of retaining employees for 1 year, 2 years longer than your competition can give you a competitive advantage that could be sustainable over time. Best Buy, we know, faces very strong competition from Walmart. And Walmart has a large customer base on a global scale, and it sells everything from groceries to apparels and electronics. Also, Walmart offers a wide range of products at lower prices, not just competing against Best Buy, but also obviously many other competitors. So this is possible for Walmart to achieve because of its scale, and it allows it to negotiate the best prices with their suppliers and dealers. So when customers buy electronics, they might go to the Best Buy store where the sales force can help answer their questions related to the product and educate them about the features to look for. These customers with the knowledge in hand might head for a Walmart and buy the selected product at a cheaper price. However, this is not a common thing to happen and can be resolved. So Best Buy can appoint a highly skilled workforce who cannot only educate the customers about the product, but also create good customer relationships, which will ensure customer loyalty and make sure that the potential customers become actual customers, and more importantly, repeat customers. In other words, they become lifetime customers if you can obviously retain them. Also, as a summary, let us talk about different perspectives affecting our view of compensation. So, from a societal perspective, compensation can be viewed as a measure of the inherent equity and justice in a society, where we examine the wages of similarly situated men and women, and whites versus blacks, young people versus older people, immigrants versus non-immigrants, and so on. Also, in terms of society, we can see compensation as a reason for U.S. having difficulties in competing with international markets. Why is it that we're buying so many products from China, from Vietnam, from maybe other countries like Cambodia, Bangladesh, India, or Pakistan? Because the compensation seems to be lower for those employees in those countries, so they can produce the same product with better quality at a cheaper price compared to what we can do. So in those other companies, wages are lower, so if they can produce the same product in quality that we can produce here in the US, obviously most companies will buy it from those organizations at a cheaper price and bring it here to the US and sell it to consumers while gaining a higher profit. From a stockholder perspective, compensation can be viewed as a mechanism to increase stockholder wealth, a key method to link executive pay to company performance. And from a managerial perspective, compensation can be viewed as a major expense that needs to be managed effectively. It can also be viewed as a means to influence employees' work attitudes and behaviors, which tends to affect productivity of those employees on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis. And finally, from an employee perspective, compensation can be viewed as a return for the services that are rendered. In other words, we get paid, hopefully honestly, for an honest day's work. And it can be viewed as a reward for meritorious performance and as an indicator of the worth of an individual's skills or training or certifications that he or she has received through education or maybe taken additional training or classes. And also, employees view compensation as a major determinant of economic and social well-being. And finally, from a global perspective, compensation can be viewed to convey more contemporary meanings. For example, countries like China and Japan have replaced traditional words associated with pay to words that capture the more contemporary and comprehensive meaning associated with pay. So in China, compensation means how the employee is being treated, while in Japan, compensation means taking care of something. There's the responsibility for taking care of your employees. We compensate them by taking care of them. Also, we can look at the network of returns in terms of, let's say, the college, which all of us are familiar. So how is an instructor, for example, receiving these network of returns? And what returns make a difference for a college faculty professor or an instructor in terms of his or her level of motivation, effort, and overall teaching effectiveness? Well, the network of returns a faculty receives tends to depend on the type of college or university he or she actually is employed by. So if an instructor attends a research university, the most appropriate network is the probability to explore the chosen field of academic in detail, along with the ability to receive appropriate grants, scholarships, and be able to publish papers with ease. So that's why in academia we say publish or perish. The more you publish, the more you can retain your employment, and also the more it's associated with your salary. Laboratory facilities, opportunities to conduct case studies and organizational research should be available easily for these types of instructors in order for them to stay and be compensated well. In case the instructor or the professor is working within a team, it is essential that the university provide the team with advanced technologies to be able to communicate and carry out their research. However, if a faculty or instructor attends small colleges where their focus is mainly on teaching, like the small liberal arts colleges, the most appropriate network would probably include extensive facilities which allow the instructor to access the latest studies so as to be able to correlate the knowledge with his or her syllabi in teaching materials. Also, access to libraries, the internet, and attendance at seminars and conferences and other related elements of research should be encouraged so the instructor can be up to date in terms of his or her teaching areas or topics. Access to libraries, the internet, and attendance at seminars and conferences related to the faculty's subject should be encouraged, and the instructor should ideally be given a free hand in being able to explore the various academic avenues within the scope of the syllabus and his or her teaching areas, while expanding and encouraging the spirit of questioning and understanding within the students. If the network is changed, obviously teaching effectiveness could be affected. So academia typically provides higher pay for research effectiveness when compared to teaching effectiveness. Students' recommendations also will vary depending on the type of college or university that is attended, and also based on the leadership of the department, like department chairs, the associate deans, and the deans, who are making sometimes objective and at other times subjective decisions in terms of salaries. As a summary, do you remember the 4 policy issues in the pay model? Do you know what purposes they serve? Well, the 4 policy issues in the pay model are: number 1, internal alignment; number 2, external competitiveness; 3, employee contribution in management of the pay system. So the basic objectives include efficiency, fairness, ethics, and compliance with the laws and regulations in any given environment. Efficiency can be correlated to improving performance, increasing quality, delighting customers and stockholders, and also to controlling the labor cost. Fairness is a fundamental objective that ensures fair treatment of all employees by recognizing their contributions. And compliance as a pay objective means conforming to federal and state compensation laws and regulations. And finally, ethics means the organization cares about how its results are achieved. In other words, all employees' behavior should be aligned with the code of conduct of the company, the industry, and obviously within the law. What are various forms of pay that we tend to receive from work? The different forms of pay will definitely depend on the type of job that we actually are working at. The various types of pay can include pay that is received directly as cash, which could be in the forms of merit, incentive, and cost of living adjustments. Pay that is received indirectly through benefits, which could include retirement, medical insurance, paid time off, and programs that help balance work and life demands. And relational returns, which could include psychological, non-financial returns like being recognized for a job well done, feeling good about being around your teammates and colleagues, and learning at work, and even facing new challenges and maybe teaming with, obviously, your coworkers on very, very good projects that you're excited about and you take pride in. Comparisons of the types of pay tend to depend on what type of work and experience we have. Good luck continuing to learn about compensation and better understanding the pay model.